For many years, venomous bites from the Habu snake posed a significant problem in certain regions of Japan. This snake had a major impact on local communities. In 1980, statistics revealed that around 400 people were bitten, some fatally. Although Japan has a number of venomous snake species, the Habu and its relatives, the eastern pit vipers, pose the greatest danger due to their size. These vipers are distantly related to rattlesnakes and puff adders, with coral snakes and cobras as their cousins, illustrating the formidable snake threat faced by the Japanese. In the past, people who were bitten were in serious danger, as an antidote didn't exist for a long time, and even once it was developed, distribution challenges remained. Antidotes were in liquid form, requiring cold storage, which wasn't available in remote areas, ironically the very regions where bites were most common. Building infrastructure to address these issues was time-consuming and costly, so Japan tried a different approach, bringing in an animal immune to snake venom that could hunt and control the snake population. The choice? The mongoose. But as often happens, things didn't go as planned. In 1979, about 30 small Indian mongooses were introduced to Amami Oshima Island. The plan was for these mongooses to prey on the Habu snakes and also control the rat population. However, the situation took an unexpected turn.
Not a happy snake. He is, isn't he? Jesus, look at the length of him. Oh my God.
While mongooses are quick and agile, perfect for hunting other snakes like cobras, they did not end up focusing on the Habu. It turns out that mongooses are diurnal, active during the day, while the Habu snakes are nocturnal, so the two rarely encountered each other. Moreover, mongooses found easier prey, like mice and rabbits, far more appealing. Instead of controlling the snake population, the mongooses started to disrupt the ecosystem, preying on native species. The mongoose population exploded, reaching a peak of 10,000 by the year 2000. Endemic species, like the Amami rabbit, a rare and ancient species now found only on 2 small islands, faced severe decline. Mongooses also targeted local rats, contributing to the risk of their extinction, along with predating on farm birds and damaging crops. As a result, the Japanese government launched a rigorous eradication campaign, which included trapping, toxic baits, attractants, and even the use of search dogs. The program was intensive and took nearly 25 years, but by 2018, the mongoose population on Amami Oshima was reportedly eradicated, restoring some balance to the island's ecosystem. Japan's Ministry of the Environment celebrated this success as it protected local wildlife and maintained the ecological integrity of the UNESCO World Heritage Site. The mongoose removal efforts are now serving as a model for other regions, including Okinawa, where similar invasive threats are present. Though the fight to protect native species from invasive predators like the mongoose is challenging, Japan's efforts demonstrate that with the right strategies and community involvement, ecosystems can be restored and preserved for future generations. You're right, Japan isn't the first country to attempt biological control. Using one species to control another is actually a well-established practice, backed by an entire field of science. Typically, this involves identifying a pest and its natural predator, conducting thorough research to ensure minimal environmental impact, and only then releasing the predator. This method has been used effectively for years. One common example is farmers using predatory insects to protect fruit trees and gardens. However, not all attempts go smoothly, as seen with the mongoose. The small Asian mongoose was introduced in several countries, including Cuba, Croatia, Jamaica, Haiti, Puerto Rico, and more, where it was mostly successful. But Hawaii's experience was different. In the 1800s, Hawaii's most valuable crop was sugarcane, and rats were a big problem on plantations, gnawing on the sweet stalks and causing massive losses. Inspired by Caribbean planters who'd controlled rat populations with mongooses, Hawaiian planters brought 72 mongooses from Jamaica. These mongooses were bred on the Big Island and eventually distributed across other islands. Not everyone supported this decision. Some warned more research was needed. However, those voices were ignored, and soon the unintended consequences emerged. Mongooses and rats have opposite schedules. Mongooses are active during the day, while rats are nocturnal, so they rarely crossed paths. Instead of hunting rats, mongooses started preying on Hawaii's vulnerable native species, including bird and turtle populations, whose eggs were defenseless against these daytime predators. The situation escalated, forcing officials to erect barriers around reserves to protect endangered species. But by then, it was too late. The mongoose population had exploded, and controlling them had become nearly impossible. Today, mongooses are linked to the extinction of at least 8 Hawaiian bird species. Unlike Japan, Hawaii skipped the critical research phase, so the Hawaiian government doesn't consider the mongoose introduction a true example of biocontrol. This lack of preparation was costly. When mongooses spread in Jamaica, for example, they drastically reduced bird and reptile populations, contributing to an outbreak of ticks, which had previously been controlled by insect-eating animals. The consequences of introducing mongooses were seen worldwide. In the Caribbean, for instance, the St. Croix ground lizard population was nearly wiped out due to mongooses, but relocation efforts have since revived them. On a brighter note, researchers in Egypt found a 4,000-year-old depiction of a mongoose on a leash in an ancient tomb. Though mongooses were never fully domesticated, they were kept as pets in some cultures for pest control. Scientists believe that this mongoose may have been used to scare birds, aiding in hunting. In Sri Lanka, mongooses are still used to guard farms from snakes, particularly cobras. At one point, a proposal was made to train mongooses to detect illegal substances, similar to drug-sniffing dogs. A pilot project, funded with $50,000, trained mongooses at the National Zoo to search cargo containers, but due to leadership changes, the project never took off. These stories illustrate that while biological control can be effective, it requires careful consideration and planning. Let's hope future efforts bring the same caution and success seen in Japan's mongoose eradication efforts. While mongooses are a notable example of an invasive species, they are not the only non-native animals that have wreaked havoc on islands. Other, even more dangerous creatures have invaded various islands around the globe. Want to know more about these deadly islands? Hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more thrilling stories. Cocos Island. Cocos Island, off the coast of Guam in the Pacific Ocean, is infamous for its dense population of yellow sac spiders, earning it the chilling nickname Spider Island. These spiders are everywhere. Trees, bushes, and nearly every other surface are covered with thick webs, creating an eerie webbed landscape. It's estimated that millions of these spiders inhabit the island, making it impossible to find a spot free from their presence. The yellow sac spider is particularly dangerous due to its venom. While a bite doesn't always lead to severe symptoms, it can cause extreme pain, redness, swelling, and sometimes necrosis, where the skin decays around the bite. This is why they're sometimes called zombie spiders. In severe cases, a bite can be fatal, though fatalities are rare. Locals, around 593 residents, know to avoid the spiders, but visitors often end up bitten, as the island is remote and medical aid isn't easily accessible. Currently, there is no known antidote for the venom, and even if there were, the challenge of transporting it to such an isolated area would be significant. A deadly island, Ramri. Ramri Island, off the coast of Myanmar, is infamous for one of the most terrifying events of World War II. During the war, the island was occupied by Japanese forces and was strategically important to both sides. In 1945, British troops launched an offensive to recapture the island. As the British forces advanced, approximately 1,000 Japanese soldiers retreated into the island's mangrove swamps, hoping to escape the onslaught. However, these swamps were teeming with massive saltwater crocodiles. Over the course of several days and nights, hundreds of Japanese soldiers fell victim to these deadly reptiles. Only a handful survived the ordeal. Since then, the crocodile population on Ramri Island has continued to thrive, making it one of the most dangerous places on Earth. These enormous reptiles, capable of growing up to 23 feet long and weighing over 2,200 pounds, now dominate the island. Anyone venturing onto Ramri Island today would face a high risk of encountering these deadly predators. The island's reputation as a place of terror is well deserved, and it serves as a stark reminder of the power of nature. Reunion Island. a shark-infested paradise. Reunion Island, a stunning French island in the Indian Ocean, has a darker side. Despite its idyllic beauty, it has become notorious for its alarming number of shark attacks. Since the early 2010s, the island has witnessed a significant surge in shark incidents, perplexing scientists and locals alike. In 2013 alone, Reunion Island accounted for over 16% of global fatal shark attacks, a staggering statistic for such a small island. Bull sharks and tiger sharks are the primary culprits behind these attacks, but the exact reasons for this sudden aggression remain a mystery. In response to the growing threat, authorities have implemented swimming and surfing bans in certain areas. However, some individuals continue to defy the warnings, drawn to the allure of the ocean. Tragically, these reckless actions have led to more fatalities, such as the case of Kim Merulu, who was killed by sharks in 2019. Reunion Island's shark problem has had a profound impact on its economy, particularly the fishing and tourism industries. As the island grapples with this crisis, it must balance the need for public safety with the desire to preserve its natural beauty and economic vitality. Snake Island, a venomous nightmare. Snake Island, officially known as Ilha da Queimada Grande, is a small island off the coast of Brazil that has earned a terrifying reputation as the most snake-infested place on Earth. It is famous for hosting one of the highest concentrations of venomous snakes anywhere, primarily the golden lancehead viper, Bothrops insularis, a species found nowhere else. The golden lancehead is among the most venomous snakes in the world, and they occupy nearly every square meter of the island, making it extremely dangerous. The island is so lethal that Brazilian authorities have made it illegal to visit, reserving access only for scientific research and a few carefully controlled military operations. Yet, some have tried to venture onto Snake Island illegally, and stories of fatal encounters abound. One infamous incident involved a fisherman who unknowingly landed on the island to collect bananas, only to be fatally bitten by a viper lurking nearby. With its intense risk, Snake Island remains off-limits, preserving its unique ecosystem but posing a serious threat to anyone who disregards the ban on visiting. Crab Island, a red tide of crustaceans. In South Carolina, there exists a place known as Monkey Island, officially called Morgan Island, which is home to a population of rhesus macaque monkeys. Surprisingly, the island is off-limits not because the monkeys themselves are aggressive, but due to the risk posed by diseases they might carry. In the 1970s and 1980s, researchers conducted experiments involving rhesus monkeys, testing them with infectious diseases to better understand their effects and potential treatments for humans. Once the studies ended, the infected monkeys were relocated to Morgan Island to keep them away from populated areas. Today, the monkeys on the island live in a semi-wild state, and human access is strictly prohibited. The island's isolation and restricted access have created a somewhat eerie reputation, making it a quarantine zone of sorts. As visitors are banned, the island remains shrouded in mystery, with the only inhabitants being thousands of monkeys in a strange, self-contained ecosystem. Christmas Island. Christmas Island in the Indian Ocean, sometimes known as Crab Island, truly lives up to its name. Each year, from October to December, millions of bright red land crabs make their way from forested areas down to the coast to spawn in the ocean, creating a surreal sea of red across the island. During this migration, these crabs seem to cover nearly every inch of the landscape. They climb over each other, scale walls, and find their way into cars, homes, and even onto people. The sheer density of crabs makes it hazardous to walk or drive, and many roads close to protect both the crabs and travelers. The crabs' migration also stirs up clouds of insects, particularly flies and mosquitoes, intensifying the already overwhelming experience of this natural phenomenon. For many residents and visitors, Christmas Island's annual crab migration is a unique spectacle, but also brings a level of chaos that few other places on Earth experience. Cat Island. Another island overrun by animals is Ama Island in Japan, commonly known as Cat Island. This place is infamous for its cat population, which greatly exceeds the number of humans living there. While many cat enthusiasts visit, some find the island eerie and unsettling due to the overwhelming number of feral cats. These cats can be aggressive, especially when hungry, and they sometimes scratch tourists. The sheer number of cats means there isn't enough food to go around, and many of these feral cats carry diseases and infections that can be transmitted to humans. Let me know in the comments which of these animal islands you find the scariest. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and be sure to check out the next video. I think you'll find it even more astonishing than this one.